So, this movie starts from Hollow Earth, where we see Kong in Hollow Earth. Here Kong is fighting with many giant monsters. And these giant monsters are basically jackals, which means big-ass monsters. And Kong fights with them and beats them, after which everyone else runs away. But Kong catches 2 of them and eats them to satisfy his hunger. And this is how we know how Kong spends his life in Hollow Earth. But here, when Kong is eating them, a tooth of Kong is in pain. And we all see that a tooth problem, and that's why Kong is in pain. In the next scene, we are shown the surface of Earth, and on the surface we see Rome, Italy. In Rome, a big spider monster comes in which looks like a squid, and this monster comes here and destroys everything. But then Godzilla comes here and attacks the monster. And in just a few seconds, Godzilla kills the spider monster, and then he saves the humans, and then Godzilla goes straight to the gladiator ground in Rome and starts resting there. After this, we see the whole Earth again, and this time we see the Monarch team inside the whole Earth, and this is a team which is sent by the Monarch so that they can not only monitor the calm, but also they can know the whole Earth better. Everything is going fine here, but then suddenly they get a shockwave. Reading on their machine, and believe me, this reading is something like a portal, and this portal basically connects the surface of Earth to the whole Earth. And because of this portal, the Monarchs have made their outpost here. As soon as Dr. Andrews gets this shockwave report, she studies it. But she doesn't understand much about the reports. Although we also see Dr. Andrews' life with it. We know that Dr. Andrews has adopted Ja, and she is teaching Ja in a special school for children, where like Ja, all the other children are also mute. Here we see Ja in the school, who is studying in her class. But then suddenly Ja starts getting a lot of weird thoughts, and she gets a lot of Kong and Hollow Earth images in her mind. And then, remembering all of them, she draws a picture on the paper in front of her. But Jia's teacher sees this drawing, and she tells Dr. Andrews that her daughter has drawn this. Seeing this, Dr. Andrews asks Ja that what is all this? Why did she draw this? And what is happening to her? Hearing this, Ja tells Dr. Andrews that she doesn't know what is happening to her, but she just knows that she is scared and she is worried about Kong. And something bad is going to happen to Kong. However, Dr. Andrews sees the same drawing that Ja has made. And then she feels something strange by seeing that drawing. And that's why she matches the drawing made by Ja with the report of the shockwave. And then she finds out that they are the same. That is, the same as the shockwave report from Hollow Earth. Jia's drawing is also exactly the same. For this, Dr. Andrews goes to Monarch and tells her senior about this. And she tells her senior that something is going to happen in Hollow Earth and something is going to leave her, but in Monarch. Dr. Andy's senior doesn't listen to her, and because of this, Dr. Andy goes to Bernie. Now you all must be remembering that this is the same character who had a big role in Godzilla vs. Kong movie. Here Dr. Andy meets Bernie and shows him the report of Jia's drawing, and Shockwave and Bernie says that these two are same. After listening to this, Dr. Andy is sure that what she is thinking is right, and that's why she comes to Monarch again to convince her senior. But when she comes here, she finds out that her team in Hollow Earth, which sent the report of Shockwave, has lost their signal, and now they don't know anything about any of the team members, which means something has happened to them, and that's why Dr. Andrews Sr. trusts Dr. Andrews, and she tells Dr. Andrews that whatever she was saying was right. There is something fishy in Hollow Earth, and to find out what is fishy, Dr. Andrews Sr. makes him the in-charge and tells him to make a team and go to Hallward with that team, and go there and find out what happened to his team. However, they do get to know that everything starts to shake there. And then we see that Kong comes out of the portal near the outpost of Monarch. And he comes out of the portal and lies down somewhere nearby. After this, we see Kong in the next scene, who has gone to some other place in the whole world. And while walking, he goes to a waterfall and crosses it. But as soon as Kong crosses the waterfall, he meets a small monkey titan. And that small monkey titan is completely orange in color. Kong thinks that kid is very innocent. And that's why he raises his hand and calls him to himself. But that little monkey titan bites him, and Kong realizes that he is very evil. But the next moment we see that 3 big monkey titans attack Kong, and they try to kill Kong. But Kong beats those 3 and drops one of them from the cliff. After that, the other 2 kids run away from him. After that, Kong catches that little monkey titan and tells him to take me to the place where all the monkey titans take me there, and for this, the small monkey titan takes Kong with him and takes him to all the monkey locations on the way. He tries to give Kong a ride, but Kong escapes all his rides along with that. He gets hungry in between, and that's why Kong feeds him, and that's why the small monkey titan understands that Kong is a very good titan. After this, the small monkey titan takes Kong to all the monkey titans, and this place is basically like this, which is covered with lava from all sides, and that's why there is very less space to move around. However, as soon as Kong comes here, he sees that there are many monkey titans, but they are all working there, and there is someone who is doing injustice to them and ruling them. And then next moment we see that there is no one else ruling those monkey titans, but it's Scar King, who comes directly in front of Kong. He comes in front of Kong and fights him. But at the same time, in Rome, Italy, we see Godzilla again, who again comes into action, and he stands up from there and goes straight into the sea. As soon as Godzilla comes into action, the other team of Monarch gets to know about it. And that's why they think that now that Kong has come out of the hole, that's why Godzilla is coming to Kong so that they can fight again. But after a while, they see that Godzilla is not going in the direction of Kong, but he is going in some other direction, and for this Monarch, people start to find out that in which direction Godzilla is going. After investigating for a few minutes, they find out that the direction in which Godzilla is going, there is a Titan moving in the same direction, and that Titan basically lives in a place where there is a lot of radiation, and that's why Monarch people understand that Godzilla will go to that Titan and kill him and will feed all the radiation from that Titan. And this guess of Godzilla is absolutely right, because Godzilla goes in that direction and goes to the Titan and fights with him and kills him. And then he enters his cave and starts feeding radiation to the Titan. And as Godzilla feeds the radiation, the Godzilla's dorsal plates also start turning pink. Here, Monarch's other team, i.e. Dr. Andrews' team, is unaware of Godzilla, and they are preparing to go to Hollow Earth. Kong goes back to his place, and Dr. Andrews and his team reach their team, which has given them the report of shockwave. But as they reach their team's outpost, they see that all the members of their team are dead, and their outpost is also completely destroyed. And then they think that they surround them with many tribal people. And these tribal people are no one else but Evis, that is, the people of the same tribe from which Ja belongs. After capturing Dr. Andrews and the rest of the people, these Evis take them straight to their queen. After coming here, their queen sees that Ja is also an EV, and that's why she calls Ja to her and holds her hand and knows everything about her. She sees in her thoughts that Ja is a human being and that she is a human being. And the people she has come with, that is, Dr. Andrews and his team, they are with her and they love her a lot. And that's why the Queen of Evi understands that all the people who have come with Ja are good. And that's why she tells her soldiers to take their weapons away from them. After that, the Queen of Evi takes Ja and the rest of the people inside with her, where there are a lot of wall paintings and literature inside. And that's why Dr. Andrews understands what's going on. Dr. Andrews knows that the Evi tribe lives in two places. One is in Hollow Earth and the other is in Skyland. And when a few years ago all the Evi people of Skyland died in a huge storm, then Gia was the only member who survived among the Evis living in Skyland. Apart from this, Dr. Andrews also knows that millions of years ago, the world was dominated by titans. And along with all these titans, there were also many monkey titans, i.e. Kong-like titans. And it was the responsibility of these monkey titans to protect all the humans living in the world. And the other titans, like the species of Godzilla and other species, would basically protect the nature of the earth. Everything was going on very well like this. But suddenly one day a monkey monster came who was very evil from his mind. And he wanted to take over the world and rule over everyone. And for this he took many monkeys with him and attacked all the titans by making them his men. In this fight, he killed many titans' monkeys so that he can never escape from there with the evil monkey titan. And after all this, Dr. Andy also knows that the evil monkey titan who wants to rule over the world is named as Scar King. After knowing all this, the Queen of Evis tells Dr. Andy that he is imprisoned in his place with his army for years. But now they have to find out through their prediction that now he is going to do something bad. And that's why they wanted Gia to come to them. That's why they were showing all those thoughts to Ja. Which means all the thoughts that were coming to Ja, those thoughts were being shown to them by the Evis living in the whole earth. Now, the Queen of Evis also tells that why is Ja so important for them. Actually, she says that the Evis worship Mothra, which means the same Mothra who is the queen of the monsters, and who is also considered as a companion of Godzilla. She tells that Mothra is a very good monster, because of which the Evis worship her, and Mothra used to protect them, but now Mothra is dead. But all those Evis believe that Mothra can be awakened again, which means she can be awakened again. But only those Evis can do that which belong to Skull Island. And now because Ja is the last EV of Skull Island, that's why they believe that Ja is the only EV which can awaken Mothra. And that's why they have to do a ritual to awaken Mothra, in which Ja can awaken Mothra. However, they want to awaken Mothra also because according to their prediction, if Scar King escapes from his prison and tries to take over the world, Mothra will be the most important person to stop him. But then Kong, who is in a very wounded state, senses Ja near him, and so while sensing Ja, he goes straight to Ja. That is, at the same place where Ja, Dr. Nadus, his team, and all the other EVs are. They get to know that a hand of Kong has been badly damaged. And then seeing Kong's injured hand, Trapper tells Dr. Nados that he will have to use the superhouse here. After this, we also know that the superhouse is basically a thing that the monarchs have developed. And that is so that they can increase the powers of the titans. Now this is because Dr. Nados tells us that when Mechagodzilla attacked the world, He realized that there are many dangers in the world that Kong and Godzilla can't face. And that's why he created some machines that can be attached to the bodies of all these titans and enhance their powers so that they can save the world from the dangers that may come in the future. After this, Trapper says that there is a super house near the team that was killed in Hollow Earth. And for this, Trapper goes there and comes here with the super house and fits it in Kong's hands, and to treat Kong's hand he injects the super house, after which Kong's hand gets better and Kong's hand gets stronger. But here we see that a friend of Scar King who was saved from Kong, he sees Kong here, and because he has a portal nearby which can go to the surface from Hollow Earth, so he goes to Scar King and tells him about the portal, and then after knowing this, Scar King prepares his army and sits on the borders and takes everyone and comes straight to the portal, so that he can go to the surface of the earth and take over the whole world. Here we see that all the Evis get together with Ja and prepare their ritual. After which, in that ritual, Ja touches a sacred place. After which, as soon as she touches it, Mothra wakes up and she comes in front of all of us. After that, Kong, who is unaware of the Scar King, comes to the surface of the earth from the nearby portal. But after that, we see Godzilla, who has completely fed the radiation, and that's why his entire dorsal plates were pink. And that's why he breaks the ice and comes out and comes straight to Kong. And as soon as he comes to Kong, he sees Kong in front of him and starts fighting him. But now that Mothra was away at that time, that's why she comes out through the portal and tells Kong and Godzilla to stop. And then after stopping their fight, she tells them that they don't have to fight each other, but they have to face an enemy which is dangerous for the whole world. And then she explains all this and brings them to the portal. As soon as Godzilla and Kong enter the portal, they start fighting with Scar King and his army. But in the meantime, we see that Scar King had also come to the portal with his army and Shemo. And that's why the fight starts near the portal. In the fight, Godzilla fights with Shemo and Kong with Scar King, and in this fight, Kong gets his axe back. But then during their fight, Godzilla, Kong, Shemo, and Scar King come to the surface through that portal, and then they come to the surface of Earth and start their fight. But when Kong comes to the surface through the portal, his axe is left in Hollow Earth, due to which Kong is very difficult to fight without his axe. But here Godzilla hits Shemo well, and Kong somehow faces Scar King. But here we see that Scar King again uses his crystal, and while controlling Shemo, he attacks Godzilla and Kong with the help of Shemo, and now because Shemo is bigger and more powerful than Godzilla, so his ice breath is more powerful than Godzilla. But in the meantime we see that the little monkey titan, which was in the whole Earth, he sees Kong's axe and he comes to the surface of the Earth with it through the portal. After that, in the Battle of Scar King, his crystal falls from his hands, and as he is going to pick up his crystal, Kong stops him from picking it up, and in the meantime we see that the little monkey titan comes to the crystal with Kong's axe and destroys the crystal with Kong's axe. As soon as the crystal is destroyed, Shemo frees himself, which means he doesn't listen to the Scar King anymore. And that's why Scar King is left alone. And that's why Godzilla and Kong attack Scar King and beat him up badly. And then Kong picks him up in his hands. And then Shemo hits his ice breath on Scar King and freezes him. And then Kong kicks him and kills him, and this is how the Scar King dies. After the end of the Scar King, everything gets back to normal, and then this late Godzilla goes back to Rome and sleeps in the gladiator's ground. And on the other side, Kong takes Shemo and the little monkey titan and goes to all the monkey titans, and as soon as everyone knows that the Scar King is dead, all the monkey titans are very happy, and with this Kong becomes the new king of monkeys. And we also see Shemo with Kong, who becomes Kong's pet, and he also gets very happy with Kong, and Dr. Andy and his team also comes back to Earth with Ja, and Ja also happily stays with Dr. Andy, and this is how the movie ends.